Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Thanks for joining me once again. All throughout the month of November, we're aiming to bring you a brand new game review each and every day. Now, it might be a written review over at thegaminggang.com, or it might be a video review from yours truly. And that's the case today because I'll be sharing my thoughts about the Mausritter box set from Isaac Williams and Exalted Funeral. This box includes the core rulebook, the Honey in the Rafters adventure, game master screen, inventory tokens, a pad of character sheets, and more. The box set carries an MSRP of $55. And if you just want to get the rules themselves in PDF, you can do so over at DriveThruRPG. And they're pay what you want. Very nice. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the box set for Mausritter. Or if you happen to watch my live show, The Gaming Gang Dispatch, you know I like to refer to this game as Mausritter. I promise it'll be the only time I say that. Couple of things to mention before we jump on in. First of all, this is not a review copy. One of our longtime viewers, one of our regulars who hangs out in chat during our live shows, they really wanted to see me review Mausritter. And they sent me the funds for me to be able to purchase this from Exalted Funeral. So this is not a review copy. This is a purchase copy of Mausritter. I would thank this person and name them, but they have asked to remain anonymous. So they don't want me to let you know who this person is, but a big thank you. They know who they are. We're also not going to look at each and every page of the short rule book, but I am going to give you a very good feel for what I think of the Mausritter role-playing game, as well as the rest of the items which are found in this box set. All right, let's take a peek. So we're going to have a single page rules reference. The reality is you could run this game as the game master just from this sheet alone. This is a very rules light, old school influenced role-playing game. If you're not familiar with Mausritter, it is a swords and whiskers sort of role-playing game. So if you are familiar with the comic book Mouse Guard or say Redwall series of books, you'll know what I'm talking about here. So the players all take on the roles of brave mouse adventurers who are looking to protect their homes and actually venture out into the big bad world to see what kind of adventures they can get themselves mixed up in. We also have a pad of character sheets. They are only single-sided, but we get quite a few of them there. A turn tracker so that the game master can track time. We also have player mice down here. So I would recommend making a photocopy of this. We also get a Mausritter marker. It's a Bic marker that comes with it. I thought that was kind of funny. The inventory system for Mausritter uses a series of boxes. In fact, I'll show you once again with our inventory on the character sheet. So we've got main paw, off paw, body, and then these are the slots for the various items. So what you would do is you punch these out. Now, these are conditions which will take up inventory slots. So if the mouse becomes exhausted or fatigued, injured, it's going to actually occupy one of these spaces here. And more conditions will take up more inventory spaces. So it's important to keep that in mind. We also have a series of little punch boards with various different items. So we've got larger items here, larger weapons, smaller items. We have some blank squares here. So you can create inventory items, small weapons, rations, torches, a lantern. We've got armor there. So we've got light armor. We've got heavy armor. So it's kind of interesting the way these work because as an example here, light armor is going to be going this way. So it's horizontal, but then heavy armor is vertical. So once again, we're actually using these boxes here to do that. I thought that was kind of cool. As the mice level up, they'll earn what's known as grit, which allows them to shake off a condition. And then, of course, this is more inventory from the adventure that's included in the box, Honey in the Rafters. We get a cardstock Game Master screen, which has everything the Game Master would need. And then got some cool art. I like the artwork for Mausritter throughout. This is a dangerous world, I should point out. So players should be aware of the fact that mice will die pretty easily in this game. We'll take a look at Honey in the Rafters last. Interestingly enough, the adventures for Mausritter that I have seen are just kind of foldouts. Kind of interesting because one aspect of Mausritter that's important to keep in mind is it's not dealing with a lot of plotted storylines and things like that. It's mainly situations and places. And that gives the players to really run wild with what they want to do. And it's really recommended that the game master allow the players to pretty much run wild as opposed to trying to keep them on a railroad or anything like that so that the plot plays out. We're going to take a peek at the credits page here, give credit where credit is due. Something important to note, kind of along the lines of Shadow Dark, Mausritter isn't truly original. It's a lot of various cool mechanics from other games that have been kind of cribbed and put together to make for a really excellent rules light role playing game. So it's not as if anything in this book is something that I really hadn't seen before, but the way these various different aspects and mechanics are incorporated into Mausritter is very unique and really nicely done. So we'll get an explanation of what is Mausritter and what a dangerous world it is. We're going to have rules for creating mice, super easy, super fast. This is an old school flavored role playing game. So you are looking at a lot of random tables and emergent play for Mausritter. There is only 3 attributes. We've got strength, dexterity, and wit. And this is a roll equal to or under on a 20-sided die. So if you are attempting a task that falls under any of those 3 attributes, the game master is going to call for you to roll. As a player, you're going to roll and you're looking to roll equal to or lower than your attribute score. Easy peasy. Combat itself, there are no rolls to hit. They hit. So you just roll damage. Now, there could be something inhibiting you, and that causes you to roll less damage, or you could have advantage or help that would make you roll higher damage. So there's a little bit of crunch, but not a lot. I really like the fact that spells are actually spirits that are trapped in little rune stones. So if a character has a spell, they've got this little rune stone and they have to use the stone to cast the spell. And there are ways to recharge the spell because normally it'll have 3 charges to it. Very easy for the spell casting. You're going to roll 6-sided die, and depending on how much power is put into that spell, you're going to roll that number of dice, and you are looking at 4, 5, or 6 to succeed on each level of power. And if you roll a 6, there's actually some feedback, which causes will damage to the character, to the mouse. I thought that was pretty interesting. I like that. As far as damage, the characters will have HP. It is not hit points, but it's hit protection. And once that's gone, they will actually take damage normally to strength. So if it's melee combat or ranged combat, they're going to lose strength. And then some things will cause damage to dex or will, but normally it's strength. If you end up at strength 0, then the mouse has died. And if you end up at dexterity 0, mouse can't move. If you end up with will zero, then they're senseless. So pretty easy. It's kind of interesting because that's a little from the old Traveler style, where you actually lost health by way of your attributes, not from a pool of hit points. So pretty cool, pretty interesting. We also get some rules and some tables regarding the actual game world to kind of make it up on the fly as you go. We get a little hex crawl as well. And that wraps up what we find inside the Mausritter core rulebook. Now, as far as adventures, most of the adventures that I've seen are actually just foldouts like so. So we have a location here. It's going to tell us different areas. We get some various different NPCs or creatures. We get encounters, curses, treasures, spells, adventure hooks, how you would get the mice involved in this adventure. So as you can see, it's not just simply a keyed location map telling you, okay, this happens here, that happens there. It's just giving you a location, telling you about each of these places in the location, and your players can take it from there. So pretty cool. I really do like how Mausritter is put together. And I can see why so many people have really, really gotten excited playing and running Mausritter, because the game itself is excellent. Kudos to Isaac Williams, because he's done a fantastic job putting together a really nice rules light fantasy role playing game, a swords and whiskers role playing game. Now, having said that, I feel a little bit different about the box. So we're going to swing on over to the other camera because I'm going to share some final thoughts and give this a review score. So I do have to point out that I think $55 for the box set is pricey for what you get. It's not terrible, but opening up the box, there's a good amount of empty space in there. The reality is, if this were the core rule book, the little fold-out adventure, the game master's screen, and the inventory tokens, maybe no pad of character sheets and no reference card and no marker, and this is priced, say, $40, I would give this a 10 out of 10. It's that good. But because it's $55, I got to ding it. I got to ding it for that, because I really do think it is quite a bit overpriced for what you get, but it is a fantastic game. So it's got that going for it as well. So when I take into account that I do disagree with the pricing on this, I still think this is excellent. So all in all, on a scale of 0 to 10, I give the Mausritter box set an 8.5 out of 10. I really do recommend it. I just wish the pricing was a little different. All right, that's it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And I should point out, we are on a quest, I say, to reach 15,000 subscribers before the calendar turns to 2025. We're a few hundred away. We'll see what happens. I'm trying. And of course, if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this review, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, certainly hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.